Should be back.
I'll refresh
Why don't you?
I'll refresh the stream page just to...
So I'll just reiterate that my janky cable that perhaps I think I talked about it a long time ago when I accidentally chopped it and then repaired it is the reasoning, because literally all I did was I was trying to plug in the USB cable to charge my phone before it died so I could play the actual music. And I just touched it ever so lightly and it was like, no, you're going to get disconnected, kid. You're screwed. So, are we good? We back on?
Yeah, we're back on. So, again, before we were dreadfully interrupted by temporary Ethernet issues, our remix tonight comes from Skies of Arcadia. It's called Black Moon. It's by Prototype Raptor. This is from Skies of Arcadia, released in 2000 on the Dreamcast by Sega. It is Giga's theme, however you want to pronounce that.
Jazz.
And I hope it's cool. It's dubstep and trap. Ooh,
it is going to be cool.
My two favorite genres. So, hey, if you like this remix, you can find it and many more at ocremix.org. We're going to play this remix. We're going to recharge. We're going to come back to do a whole load of What You Plan, and then we'll be done for the show. So stick around. We love you. We did it.
That was fire.
Fire!
Oh God. Oh no. What am I playing? NHL 14 or whatever it was?
You gotta run, yeah. I don't know any of the words. I just make these noises and it goes through the motions.
I mean, it works for me.
Wasn't that the worst part about playing the NHL games? Is like every time you turn it on, it's like the same song and the menus every time, and you're just like.
Thankfully, none of it was Nickelback. Otherwise, we'd have a real problem on our hands.
I remember I was trying to think of how I made this work. I was just thinking about the other day, like when I was playing that game, when I had a convoluted system where I could start up a playlist. My Xbox 360 would think I was playing a CD, but it was actually connecting to Spotify through my local area network, and I was able to stream Spotify to my Xbox 360. So I was listening to my Spotify playlist during games.
Good Lord.
On Xbox 360. Power of technology, man.
Some people would just use a headphone splitter, and then just connect one to the computer and the other to.
Yeah, but this was cooler.
That's true. That's true.
It made me feel like I was like in the movie Hackers.
Ooh.
You
know,
not
a bad movie to be in.
Yeah,
were you wearing a hoodie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like pulled down, and a hat pulled down.
And you had thumb holes in your sleeves.
Yeah, and I had some fishnet stuff.
Yeah, fishnet item accessories.
And some hot pockets.
A choker.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are you a cam girl or are you?
Did I have? Well, here's the question: Did I have like some sort of hemp necklace, or did I have like a puka shell?
Ooh, probably hemp. Probably hemp.
Yeah.
And you chewed on it when you had a particularly hard hacker.
Yeah. Oh God.
Hacker to hack.
Oh.
Damn, we just wrote a movie basically.
We did. It's called Get Fluxed. You wanna talk on what you're playing?
Go fluck yourself. Fluck?
Continue.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I go? You have a lot of shit. Can I go first for once?
It's because I had a lot of time to do stuff.
Yeah. I did. I'll mention one other thing I don't have on here, but it's not. It was kind of like
I watched two complete series.
Yeah, you did.
Complete series.
I'm proud of you. This is like almost triple what you normally have.
Yeah, because it doesn't just say Smash Brothers.
Yes, that's true. Give this man some time, and he will make the world his oyster.
Erect a mountain.
I don't know.
I just want to say the word.
There's an erection of some sort, and it's happening in my pants. So let's talk about some Octopath Traveler.
I think you're farther than me already.
I probably am because it goes tomorrow, Jason.
Oh, it's all done.
Back to the library. However,
the library.
I have only one other chapter 2 to do, and then I'm done with chapter 2s. I'm in the middle of Ulbrich's.
We'll be equal then.
Okay. I'm in the middle of Ulbrich's, and then I have... That's fun to say. I've never said it out loud. Ulbrich. And then I have... Or no, I'm in the middle of Hannett's. Sorry, or however you say her name. And then Alphen is the other one.
What's your... who's your favorite story so far?
Oh, that's hard. Well, I like Cyrus with this book. It's very like Sherlock Holmes. Because he's always like deducing everything. But if I had to pick one, probably Primrose. Just because
I say Primrose is pretty good.
There's a lot of intrigue. Therion is pretty good too. Except for it's basically Final Fantasy, all of them. Like go get the crystals. Yeah. They represent fire, earth, air, water, wind, heart. Go planet. So, yeah.
Have you gotten all the? Have you gotten a lot of the jobs?
Jarbs. I've only gotten 2, Thief and Hoyer. So I don't know if I missed some.
You got to get like the dance. What is it? Is it Dancer? Yeah, I think the Dancer skill lets you generate spell points every turn.
Yes, you're right.
And that when you get Cyrus, where you get not only when you're generating SP every turn, and then you get I can't remember which job gives it to him, but it reduces your consumption by half. So
that's what's her name? That's the merchant, because she has that right
Tressa?
Now. Yeah, Tressa.
So when you're essentially doing the double summon of like your most powerful spells for like 2 SP a turn, it's amazing.
Damn.
Cyrus, it's like I can never
He's
not
OP.
have him in my party.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's ever since I've got him, like as soon as he started getting levels, immediately overpowered, and I love it because
he's like my favorite character.
Well,
in that
hell,
game.
there were certain parts where there was only one. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought. I didn't want to.
I was going to say there's only one time that I felt like I needed a specific party, and that's when I had to go into the sewers in Cyrus's, because there were only light-based monsters and like daggers, and I had neither of them in my.
Dude, that stuff's frustrating. And then I realized, like with, Alphen, with you can like mix certain concoctions that'll do elemental damage. And I was like, oh, thank God, because that was so annoying before I found that out. Who was your starter?
Tressa.
Tressa.
I liked her story the most because she kind of seemed mostly a blank slate. So I was like, let's just go with that. And I also played the demo, so I already knew Primrose and Ulbrich, so they were out. Ulbrich was the only one that I decided not to hear the tale and just start at the middle of what was happening.
Did you play the extended demo at all, where you got to play like the first couple hours of the game?
I think so. Was that the Primrose one, or is that the one where?
No, there was the first demo where you only could play as Ulbrich and Primrose.
That's the only one.
And there was a second demo where it was the full game and you could play like 2 hours.
That I only played the first one because I was like, I'm probably gonna play this anyway, so why start an adventure?
Because I changed things up, because when I played the second demo, I had Ophelia as my starter, and then
she's boring.
And then I got rid of her, and I ended up picking Alphen just because I was like, it's a weird class.
I like Alphen more than I thought I would.
I kind of wish I had Cyrus as my starter, but at the same time, Alphen, like, he's pretty useful because he can tank. I use him. He's like a tank healer. I mean, that's what I use him
he really
for.
is.
And the fact that I generate, I think with him, I generate SP every turn, and when I do attacks, I heal myself. So he's kind of pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting back into this game, but I got so much. I don't know. It's hard to I don't know.
Well, the good thing is it's easy to piece out, and that's why I'm like not too upset about having to take it back, because what it does. Grouchy Surge was asking if he should play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or this game as his side long RPG, and I had mentioned Octopath Traveler because they do a really good job of, when you get to the next story bit, they tell you what led up to that and why you're here. And it's really easy to just recap it, and understand what you're doing again, which I appreciate, because there's like 8 people to keep track of, and nothing is super complex to keep track of. There's not a ton of names or anything, but it's nice to know what got you to that point. If you you do one person's first, and then you don't come back to them again until the next, after you've gone through 7 stories. That's like 20 hours worth of gameplay right there or something. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, but I think I'm just going to put in another hold on it and get it back from the library, because I think I'm really digging this one. I talked about how it wasn't really hitting a chord with me, but for some reason I got halfway into chapter 1 and I was like, okay, now I get it. So, which happened with Xenoblade.
That makes sense.
So.
Yeah.
The other game that we played was actually pretty recent too, and that's Super Mario Party. Now, my wife and I could only play because we only have the 2 Joy-Cons, and
dumb.
Yeah, I don't understand why, because there's more motion controls in the other stuff, so I don't really know why. I didn't play anything that I required HD Rumble for or anything. Of course, I didn't play a lot of the games. I haven't played all of them because we only played it twice, but I just wanted to check it out, and it's good. I liked playing it, but it's hard to want to play. Like, the lowest you can do is 10 turns, and it says it takes 60 minutes. It probably took us more like 45. But if you don't play a 2-hour game, like a 20-turn or 25-turn game,
that just seems way too long.
It probably is, and if you don't, the one we played, the Wampa Ruins or whatever it's called, and Mario was being a dick. Like, there's always one computer who's an a-hole. And for some reason, they asked one of the Wampas, or whatever they're called, who they thought was going to win. And he said, I can't see no way that Mario won't win. So he got a special prize, which was the golden pipe. Now, this board has a long stretch of lane, I guess, where you hit these spots. They're called special events. And what happens is all these Wampas, or whatever they're called, I don't know what they're called.
I think that's a Wampa's in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It seems like it's got to be.
Yes, a wump. I don't know. The stone blocks that fall from the ground and have faces on them. Thwomps, thank you. The Thwompas.
The Wampas.
We'll go with the Thwompa Wampas. They come down like dominoes and cause a chain reaction where this ball comes down and like rolls like Indiana Jones, and it takes out everyone in this path, and they have to go back to the starting spot. And of course, the first star was right there, so at the very end. So there's like 4 of these special event squares, and we hit every single one of them. So it took us 10 turns.
Sounds like Mario Party.
Yeah. So it took us 8 turns. For him to get the special item, and what he got was a golden pipe that basically put him one space away from the star. And so he got this star with 2 turns left, and it's like, well, he won, and of course he did end up winning, so that kind of sucked. So I would only play it with 4 people basically, and that makes me not want to buy it because I don't have anybody to play this with, really.
I just like I like the mini games. You know,
the presentation was great too. Like, it was really awesome, actually. But the mini games are fun.
Kind of glad you didn't buy it, or.
Well, yeah, because then I'd have to buy the $70 Joy-Cons, and we probably wouldn't end up playing anyways half the time. So it's just not a very good investment for me right now. So which is unfortunate because it's super fun. But there's also board games I can't play for the exact same reason. We need 4 people, and it's super fun, but it just doesn't happen very often where we would be able to play it. So,
I mean, Derek and Brittany come over enough, so you got that.
Right. So maybe I'll.
But are they going to want to play it?
Exactly.
Or then,
and I mean, maybe I'll buy it when it's on sale for $30 or something like that.
I remember people like you're not going to get it, Jason. I'm like, no. It's pointless for me to get Mario Party. Makes no sense. Why would I get Mario Party?
And now nobody's talking about it because the way they decided to do the online play, you can only do mini games, which sounds great in theory because the mini games are fun. But when there's nothing to contextualize the mini games, there's
only certain mini games you can do. You can't just do any mini game. And...
Oh, that's even worse then. So,
yeah.
Yep. I watched some movies. I really put a lot of time into Octopath, so that was really the only game that I played. But I did watch some movies, and I have a ton to watch yet. But what we did was, for my wife's birthday, we watched Harry Potter. Now, we were going to watch all of them, but I forgot that most of them are over 2 hours long, apparently, so there was no real way that was going to happen. But we did watch 1 through 4. I have a little backstory about this, and I don't know if you saw this, Jason, because I didn't see that you had said anything, but you may have saw. I posted in the Discord for PSVG because they have a movies and TV channel in there, and I was having an issue. The issue was we were watching Harry Potter, and I had noticed some weirdness.
Yeah,
like it just looked weird. Did you see the pictures that I posted?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, this just looks weird. The contrast was out of it would go from light gray to like dark black immediately with no gradient range in between. And then we got to the Voldemort / Harry wizard battle in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, where he gets transported to that graveyard. And it's really dark, and then all of a sudden, you know, they start battling, and these bright-ass lights and this electricity basically starts happening from their wands. And it's very bright and colorful. Well, for us, it was like somebody turned the saturation up to 100% because it was overly, way too much overdone. There was, again, no gradient whatsoever. It was just like all red and then a little bit of pink around it to represent the glowing. And I'm like, that does not look right at all. Like, I get HDR is supposed to make colors look really vibrant and everything and lifelike, but that is way too much. So something is wrong here.
Yeah, I'm looking at I wanted to look back up to the
refresh your
pictures
mind.
again, just yeah.
They are really bad. So and to save myself from, because I had already been troubleshooting it, and it was bothering me because anything that's technology not working right is just gives me nightmares. Because I'm like, it's supposed to be looking better than this. It really didn't blow me away. The resolution looked good, but the color quality was weird. So I'm looking it up, and then I asked on Discord, I'm like, does anybody know what's going on here? Because I found out HDR10 worked, but Dolby Vision was what was causing the problem. Long story short, basically my Blu-ray player that I got for Christmas does not automatically select which type of HDR is happening. It either is, you either turn on Dolby Vision or you turn it off, and then you have HDR10, which is,
that seems stupid.
Is very stupid. It could, I imagine it could be fixed in an update later down the road.
I would never know that.
No, I didn't.
So I would have never turned that off.
Yeah. I mean, you see Dolby Vision and you're like, yeah, why would I want to turn that off? It doesn't even explain to you that it's a manual selection, and if you have a disc that doesn't do Dolby Vision, it's going to look awful. So we watched 4 movies.
At the same time, shouldn't we just have a standard then too, instead of a movie doing Dolby Vision or not? It should just be, you need to have one standard.
Well, and that's a good point, because like audio is the same problem. They have DTS and Dolby Atmos or whatever, so there's not even a standard there. But it's not like I have to go in and set like DTS or Dolby. It just recognizes whichever one is which.
Well, so, I only watch movies that are done in THX. So
I only watch movies that are done in DVD. We had another reason that you can make fun of me, Jason, and say, well, I don't have this problem, because it's true. But that's what sucks. I would say it's an early adopter problem, but it really isn't. I mean, this technology is
it's been out
4 years old or 8 years. I don't even know anymore. But so we watched 4 movies like this, just totally just stupid ass looking bullshit. It was very frustrating, and we're not going to go back and watch them again, obviously. And now I know, because I don't have one movie that I got for Christmas or rented or anything that has Dolby Vision. So everything would have looked effed up had I not figured this out. So
yeah, that's not good.
No,
you're not going to want that.
That's not good. I enjoyed the movies, though. It had been years since I'd seen any of them, some of which I hadn't seen since they came out in the theater. So I was like, I kind of forgot how much I like this after I got over making fun of it and everything, because, it's not like they're cinematic marvels or anything, but some of that CGI did not hold up well, though, especially in the first 2. And then I also watched Murder on the Orient Express last night or 2 nights ago. Yes. I don't remember. The remake, not the original.
Yeah.
I won't go too much into it. I didn't know the story, and even so, it was just okay. It didn't have me like on the edge of my seat like something like Sherlock Holmes would or something like that, where you kind of feel like you really want to know what's happening. I kind of felt like it was just delivered to me piecemeal so that I could just easily digest what was going on. I didn't have a real problem following it, and I just kind of waited until the solution presented itself. So it was really easy to watch, but it didn't really challenge me to be on the edge of my seat and be like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. So I can only kind of recommend that, sort of. If you're into that type of movie, maybe that would help, but I don't know. I mean, it didn't blow my mind or anything. But what did blow my mind was, and I don't even know if I have this damn movie name right, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
I've just been calling it Spider-Verse, basically.
Seems to be quite popular.
Jason,
it's quite good.
You would really enjoy this movie. If it wasn't so expensive, I would go with you just to go see it, because I thought The Incredibles 2 looked good, and it does, but the problem with Incredibles 2 is there's like no texture to it. It's just a good looking CGI movie. Spider-Verse it looks like comic book pages come to life.
Oh wow,
okay. I mean, I'm sure you can see it if you watch the trailer, but it's even more obvious when you watch it. The one thing that took a while to get used to though is like it's kind of jittery. There's a real jitteriness to the fluidity of everything, which is to say that it's not very fluid at all at first. But there are times where it's not always that jittery, which is it's hard to explain. But if you go and watch it, or if you see it on at home, you'll know what I'm talking about. The other thing, Mike, and because I went and saw this with Mike, he invited me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can actually go." Was the soundtrack? Neither of us really cared for it. It has a lot of hip hop that I didn't even recognize, so that's probably part of it. But I think it would appeal to a younger audience who, and I say younger, like teenagers who would know what the music. So it didn't have your typical heroic soundtrack, orchestral soundtrack. You know what I mean? It had more of a pick and choose songs that you would hear on the radio type deal or something like that. But yeah, I'd really recommend it. It's great. We really enjoyed it. It's almost like a celebration of comic books, and it's actually pretty funny too.
Did you
kind of makes light of,
because you're not like super caught up on Spider-Man, so did that like
yes, that was a problem.
Zero. Okay, I was going to ask, did that make a difference, or was it difficult?
There are characters I didn't know who they were. It doesn't make it harder to watch or anything, but I did turn to Mike and I was like, "Do you know who some of these people are?" Because I don't. They aren't new. It's just I didn't recognize them because I'm not familiar with. If they weren't in the animated series from the '90s, I don't know who they are. So let's just put it that way. But there were some I did recognize too. So, but yeah, I'd really recommend it. It's a good time and it's fun. So had a good time with it. That's all I did.
Cool.
That's all I played.
I think everyone that's been like, from what I've seen on social media and it's everything, everyone that's actually like that's seen it. I mean, everyone I've heard like
good things,
all good things about it.
Good things.
And I haven't heard anything about Aquaman. Not to always propagate the DC Marvel crap, rivalry. But I mean, yeah.
I have not seen a DC movie since Suicide Squad, and I aim to keep it that way. Although I hear
me neither.
Their animated stuff is kind of where they actually kill it. So
yeah.
I would be interested to. There's always a new Batman animated film. It seems like there's always some, and it always has really awesome cover art. And then you just go, oh, it's just an anime, basically.
They just need to just bring back the Batman animated series. Bring that back.
They actually remastered that for Blu-ray, and
I've seen visual comparisons. It's crazy.
It's amazing. They need to do that for everything. I'm sure it's painstaking.
I remember I was watching that on Amazon Prime like forever ago, and then
they took it. I think they took it off actually.
Is it gone? Yeah, probably because I wanted to buy the DVD.
Yep.
Duh. I bought up physical media. For myself, when I was gone, I had the Switch tabletop, and I tried to play Smash tabletop at my in-laws. I'm like, this is a horrible idea, and I was just getting my butt kicked. I was like, okay, Smash is gonna have to wait, and then I was like, okay, what am I gonna play then? So I like forced myself to like grind out Dead Cells, and because that's been the longest time, is I was really stuck in a rut with that game where I just wasn't feeling like I was progressing. I was always just getting to the same point and dying.
I had this problem with Rogue Legacy. I had like a death loop where I just couldn't make any progress.
Well, I could get to the Black Bridge. I could kill that boss.
That's where I'm at now.
The next level is like this fishing village place. I could get through that, and then what is it called? The Clock Tower. This area, and I was like, for the longest time I was like, oh my god, how am I, because the enemies will wreck you, just destroy you if you're not careful, and I couldn't even make it through the level, and I was like, so finally I think I had been grinding away to try to unlock another health flask. So after I did that, I was like, that was like a mini cell item. I was like, I'm just gonna start going the smallest item on the list and just get those upgrades, because if I have a good run, I'm bringing in 20 to 30 cells a level. So I started just like knocking out blueprints and finally getting some upgrades there, and I consistently get some pretty decent drops now, just even as my starter weapons. I hate when you get the Claymore or the big broadsword, because I think it's cool, but it just doesn't.
Same thing with that hammer thing
so
too.
Slow. The hammer, yes, that too. So I finally like started making some progress, and then I got to the clock. because there's a couple different ways I play, and this time I was like, I wasn't. One time I did speed run, and I got like 2 or 3 of those timed rooms, and that was huge because I got a ton of cells off that. But I made it finally. I made it to Clock Tower with a ton of upgrades, and I made it to the boss. And I got my butt handed to me, and I was like, man, how am I going to make it past this guy? Happened again, and then finally I had a couple good runs, and it was one time I was playing, I was like, I didn't like my starter weapons, I wasn't doing good. I'm like, this is going to be a terrible run, but I'll just play it through. And then that was the run I beat him, because I ended up having like 2 of like the turret,
those things are
weapons. So I just was using that, and I had that purple upgrade quite a bit. So, I learned a lot more about how to play the game, and I just made a lot of progress there. So now I've made it. I've beaten the Clock Tower boss a couple times. I think he's called the Time Master. I think that's his name. I can't quite remember. And then I've made it to like the last world, which the enemies are even harder. But I went back and I found like the second rune, one of the permanent upgrades they can get. So you can get the one that makes the vine. So now I've got the other one where you can teleport.
Yeah.
So I think I've got that, and I think now that gives me access to a level I've never even been to. So I'd hold another boss I've never even fought before, which I can get another rune, for killing him. So, I sunk probably a good, 4 or 5 hours into the game again, and it kind of made a lot of progress, and it kind of really changed my opinion on the game. And it went from being very middle of the road to like, okay, I'm having a lot of fun with this again, because it just felt so long. I just felt like I couldn't do anything, And
I think that's
you get so sick of running those same beginner levels over and over.
And I think that's part of the issue that comes with procedurally generated games. You can have such a varying experience that I think sometimes there's a few people who get those experiences where you're not making any progress, and it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it doesn't give you a good chance to really explore the game. Because it always feels like you get that one certain thing that just unlocks a whole new level of the game.
Yeah,
not like a literal level.
Well,
but
I had the one time I had a bow that was 2,000 DPS.
Holy crap!
So I was like, those hard enemies in the Clock Tower, I was one-shotting with the bow,
sniping them.
I've
tried doing. There's times where I tried doing different weapons, but usually I tend to, or like the shield. I tend not to use them because I'm like, oh, I'm getting hurt. I never use the shield
because. Yeah, I don't see the point because you still get hurt. So why am I going to parry?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense with the shield.
There were some things I found that would give me health back or on like perfect parries and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a mutation too that you can get that'll give you health back. But still, I think you're going to take more damage from the parry, and then you're going to...
Yeah, especially with those, if that's already happening on the starting level enemies, and then you just get further down the line, it's going to be even worse.
I thought that's a weird decision. Unless it forces you to take that mutation, and then maybe you can balance it out so you aren't taking any damage from doing a parry. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it.
And then the only game I continue to play is Smash. I have unlocked all the characters now as of
nice.
Friday night, I think it was Saturday. Oh, I don't even know what day it is. I'm so screwed up. It must have been Sunday night. I think I unlocked all the characters. So I have all the characters in Smash. I keep playing that. But since I was on break, we watched a lot of stuff. Starting with when I was at my in-laws, my father-in-law had already seen it, but he watched it with me. We binge watched Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
On Amazon Prime. So good.
Really?
If you're even like remotely interested in that type of stuff. Awesome. Really
what is
good.
It? I don't even know what it is. I mean, I know it's that like he's in it, but
it's like, well, have you ever seen like Cleared President? Like because Jack Ryan was played by Harrison Ford originally, like Patriot Games and Clearing President Danger.
Yeah, I was too young for that stuff, really.
And then there was a Ben Affleck movie in the early 2000s that he played the character.
Okay.
I think Morgan Freeman was in that one. I can't remember what it's called, but now, this is kind of a whole reboot of the whole, Jack Ryan, kind of modernize it a little bit more. So he works for the CIA and he's going around. There's like this whole I guess I could say terrorist plot with some mass murdering and this whole
I was wondering if it was spy thriller or
it's kind of like a spy CIA espionage type thriller. It's good though. It's really good. It's like 8 episodes. It's really good. It was really good, and he's really good in the role. So I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. It was really good. Like I know Kyle and PSVG had recommended it to people a long time ago, and I was interested because they started showing ads for it, like in August, I think, and I don't remember when it came out, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to watch that, and I finally did, and I was like, oh, that it was really good. And then, after Jess and I had finished one of the other series we're watching, I think we saw it on like Ellen, because the actor that plays the lead role, who plays Rob in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He's this character in this movie. It's a show called The Bodyguard, which I believe originally ran in the UK on BBC and was like one of their most watched shows, and now it's on Netflix. And I think that's only 6 episodes. It kind of follows the typical UK format, longer, short seasons, longer episodes. He's a PPO, personal protection officer, so he does, he's a bodyguard, and I can't say too much because there's some plot twists and turns along the way, but I wasn't sure how I'd like it, but it's good. It was really good. Really like that too. So basically he's assigned to protect a member of, is she a member of parliament? She was like a house secretary. She has some, governmental.
Is she a madam secretary?
Political role. She might've been, I can't remember. So he's protecting her, and there's this plot, and all these assassination attempts, and
you getting down with that espionage, bro.
Yeah, right. He has his own demons he's fighting, and it was interesting to see him in a different role. And I'm not sure what his nationality is, but because he has a very, for me at some points hard to understand Irish. I believe it's Irish accent, but it was good. That was still quite good. And it's always funny when you watch anything filmed over there, because like, oh, that person was in Game of Thrones. Hey, I think that person was in Game of Thrones.
It's like they live there or something
in the UK. Exactly. I finished Silicon Valley.
Yay!
Finally watched the season finale of that. It feels weird because it kind of ends on a positive note, and that doesn't happen so much.
On
that show. And I almost, the way it was filmed, like the way it ended too, I was like, this could have been the final episode. They could just stop the show right there. It kind of had that feeling a little bit.
I thought that's what happened. I was like, are there going to be more of this? Or because people are like, well, the one guy left the show, TJ Miller, or got kicked off, or whatever.
I'd say I didn't really miss him though. I liked his character, and I thought I would really not like the show as much without him. But I didn't really miss him at all.
I think it's because the other characters are funny enough to carry it. Like, he wasn't just the one funny guy.
I love Dinesh with the damn Tesla all the time.
yes.
God. And then, Guilfoyle's obviously hilarious. And then Richard Hendricks is just...
And they're all funny in different ways, which helps too.
Like Richard, at the time, you're always like, God damn it, Richard. You're just... Jesus.
Yes.
It's like, you're going to kiss my piss. Kiss my piss.
He decides to be a dick at the worst time. It's like he's finally gonna stand up for
Jared's
himself.
my favorite character in the whole show, though. He is by far. I love that character.
He's got some darkness in his past.
Oh my god! Like that little vendetta he has against Richard's assistant. I don't know what it was.
I forgot about that. Like
so
his
good,
assistant
though.
gets so scared that he can't even ask him.
Yeah.
Or like
he's like, if Jared asks, could you just tell him that you really like the sandwich?
That's what it was. Yeah, I'll let him know. Would you make sure you do?
Ask you to tell me that? God, I wish it did take me so long to get to that point. Now I'll probably have to start watching.
You used to
Westworld season 2.
I
used to be all on top
like
of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
But now I remember why. Part of me that show and *Halt and Catch Fire*. I kind of want to go back episode 1 and rewatch them all.
I might. Here's some craziness. I might actually buy *Halt and Catch Fire* on a physical media because I like it so much.
You liked it so much? I still want to do that with Gravity Falls at some point.
That too.
And then it was usually you get these emails, right? The Netflix emails, like, recommended for you. This is a new show. You should watch it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I finally bought into one, and because I was like, I read the description. I'm like, huh, this actually sounds pretty cool. It's called Murder Mountain, and this is a documentary. I think 6 episodes again that just released this month.
Okay.
It's talking about, I can't remember what the specific county is in Northern California, but they produce probably 80% of the marijuana that's you consumed in the United States originates from this county.
Okay.
And people go up there and they disappear and don't come back. I mean, so there's this whole, I don't know, there's just a number of missing persons cases that happen up there, murders. So it talks about, it kind of jumps around a little bit and it gives you some of the history of how that whole community even started. And then, of course, during that time, California legalized recreational marijuana. So then you've got these people that are, growing pot on the black market,
Yeah.
and all the shadiness and bad deals happen with that. But then you've got people, and the side of it you don't think about, people that, okay, they want to go to the white market and do it the right way and sell it legally. But then there's all the red tape and all the permits and all the stuff, that taxes they got to jump through. And so all these people are making all this money on the black market now. All their money's gone just to become legal, and then there's all their profit margins are eating up. So that's the thing is, I think you don't think about is the people that are actually growing it. How are they, continue to even benefit? How they have the livelihood off of it?
Yeah.
Because now there's so much oversight by the government that just cripples their ability to even maintain a living off of it.
Well, and they can't even like they can't do any banking. They can't use a federal bank because it's still federally against the law. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like people on the black market, they just like bury the money out there in the hills. And
I think I saw they have to pay their taxes in cash or something like that because they can't write a check or anything.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's pretty wild just how crazy that area is with like the people that just disappear. Like
that's scary.
Like early on in the show, you're introduced to a mother who's looking for her daughter. She's from Australia and she travels back from Australia. She works.
God.
And when she gets back, she travels back there for weeks at a time to try to find her daughter. There's this, and it also really follows of a son that went missing in like 2013. And then the whole what happens, like private investigators are involved because law enforcement wasn't, and this whole, it's pretty interesting. It's a quick watch through. They're like, like 42, 45-minute episodes.
I was just going to ask that.
Because we started that on Friday night. We started on Saturday night, and we got through that in 2 days. We watched 3 episodes each night and finished it. But it's pretty enthralling, we thought. And then lastly, I won't mention it because I don't know if it was suggested we should make it as a Netflixation. I don't know if we've officially said it or not. I was thinking
about doing it, but we haven't. Yeah.
Jessica and I watched Bird Box last night just because everyone's been talking about Bird Box, so we wanted to see what all the hullabaloo was about. So we watched the Bird Box. So if we're gonna make that official Netflixation, it
was explained to me as A Quiet Place, but with vision instead of.
Well, that's what everyone gets from the trailer, and that's the only thing you can say that is because there's people, you can't. Yeah, I mean, but it's just another post-apocalyptic thing, but it's kind of a nice change from what we've got. It's got it's got a good cast. I mean.
The only issue is that we would have to do it like next week because you'll forget about half of it. But
no way.
I blame you.
I'll steel trap it.
What was the movie again? What were we going to talk about? Nice. You did some solid work.
That's everything I did. We did I watched a lot of shows.
I don't watch the news.
I've been meaning to hopefully start reading. Oh gosh, what's the one book that Jason Schreier from Kotaku wrote? Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. I was hoping to finally start reading that, but I haven't done it yet.
What a jerk! I've been reading comics. I just didn't talk about them because they're.
Yeah, I haven't read any yet, and I haven't done anything.
What?
On that
I'm just going to pretend like I'm affronted by it. What? But I really don't care. I mean, I care, but...
It felt good to actually watch a bunch of stuff. I had to finish it. So I think... did we... I don't think we've picked... As a couple, I don't think we've picked out what our next show should be. We should probably finish either Making a Murderer or... Oh, wait, there was one other thing we watched. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it's all coming back now.
No, this was good. This was a documentary on... I think it's on Amazon Prime as well. It's on Netflix, and it's called God Knows I'm Here. And it's about a woman that dies in this house because she was suffering from mental. It basically talks about the failure of the American healthcare system and dealing with mental illness and how we fail.
What's it called again?
From mental. God Knows I'm Here. I think it's what it's called.
I think my mom was telling me about this actually.
And she had, it was this mom, and all of a sudden she just disappeared, and then she wasn't institutionalized for a while, but because of our laws and HIPAA, like when she was discharged, I think requested it, or I don't remember how it happened, but her family wasn't notified, so nobody knew she was discharged, and then she just left on her own.
And she ends up
and then
squatting, right?
Yeah, squatting in this abandoned house.
My mom told me about the show.
Yeah, and it's fine during the the spring, but eventually winter comes, and she's like hoarding apples because she like, and literally there's a house you can see from the windows across the street she could have gone to for help, but the mental state she was in, she didn't think she could go to other people because she, I think was it schizophrenia, I think was part of what the thing she was struggling with. So she had like 200 and something apples she was hoarding, and she eventually rationed them, but eventually they run out, and she starves to death.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, she's too weak to get. I'm not sure if she starved to death first or dehydration because she couldn't get water anymore because she was too weak to even move. But she just dies in this house alone in winter. It's just crazy story. And most of the documentary is some interviews, but it's a lot of voiceover because she had kept a journal, and it's voiceover of these daily journal entries she has. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty cryptic too at the same time, and it's just it's terrible. It's just how our society deals with mental illness as a whole. I think we've gotten better, and there's less stigma there, but it's still not where it should be.
For sure.
And yeah. And the whole reason I think I got on that because I was thinking, we need to finish some of the stuff we started, like Making a Murderer or Man in the High Castle. And there's some other stuff we're midway. Yeah. Sabrina. There's some stuff we're like kind of mid into. So
trying to test the waters.
Yeah, trying to test the waters. And speaking of testing waters,
yeah,
I think I'm done with this episode.
That's a bad segue.
What about you?
I've ever heard one.
I know.
I can be done. I can be done whenever you want.
Well, good, because there's nothing. We don't got any grab bag. Dan Anthony won the game giveaway last year. Congratulations, Dan. We're going to get that ordered for you and on its way.
Y'all.
And you can win, too. You just got to play. You got to play to win. You
got to play to win, and you got to win to play. Wait. No, you don't have to win to play. No purchase necessary.
No purchase necessary.
But you do have to listen to the show, or else you won't know how to do it.
That's right. Next week, guys. Next week, I don't know yet. I got to map out the content. I don't know what's coming next week.
We need to have a meeting, which means you and I will go to a bar and talk about Fluxtaposed. I have
a $25 gift card to Founders.
Sweet. You're buying.
Okay.
Wait. You can do that, and then I still have one for my birthday to City Built or whatever. City Brewing or whatever it's called. I don't remember.
So I'll go sit at Founders and you'll go sit at City Built?
No, we'll go together. No, we'll go together. But we're going to bar hop to 2 bars.
Oh, okay. So I drink only at Founders and then you drink only at City Built. Got it.
I mean, we could do it that way. I thought you'd buy me one beer.
I like this idea. We have to have a meeting and then I like it.
We can stream it like an episode. Because we won't be in the same room. We'll be at 2 different bars.
The great content meeting of 2019. I like it.
I do like it too. It's very convoluted.
We'll figure it out. We'll get it to you guys. That's all I need to say. And what I also need to say is a special thank you to all of our patrons. But a special thank you to our Arbiters of Awesomeness, Kevin Austin, Kyle Heyman, Tyler Rolland, Tom Servo, PSVG. Yes, the entirety of PSVG. Wow. And our Executors of Excellence, Josh Barboni, Dan Anthony, Edwin Cal, Siri Renee, and Devin Tyus. We thank you all for your support. If you want to join the Flux Legion of awesome patrons, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed for ways you can do that. And you'll get on your list to get that awesome Fluxtaposed radio whenever it comes in, which maybe we'll drop the first one at the end of the month.
Wouldn't that be something?
Maybe it will happen. You never know.
You never do know.
Take it. My Pennywise. So, with that said, Fluxtaposed is done. Welcome to 2019. We missed you guys. We're back. We'll save you seat for the next show. Goodbye. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
Goodbye.